It's quiet at Burke Mountain today, which is fairly typical for this time of year. General Manager Mike Popolato said he was instructed not to talk to the media about the current situation, but did say that day-to-day operations at the mountain are not being affected. Residents, however, were more than willing to talk.
Well, it's good to hear that the state's definitely taking action by closing down the offices and doing a further investigation. I don't think it's quite right what's been going on at the mountain.
People are already upset with the whole situation of, they kind of booted all the locals that work there out, and they try to make it all better and add the hotel, and that's great for the jobs, but now there's no jobs. So
for Jim Payton, the situation hits close to home. His son was recently laid off by the resort.
He's unemployed, and like many others, I hear. So,
General Manager Mike Popolato instructed by RA not to speak with the media, and it's business as usual. Bike trails aren't open anyway, and maintenance work still continues. Normally, at this time of the year, there is a skeleton crew, but this is due to between seasons. The Riverside School puts on a production during which they stop academic classes and facilitate students as they plan, rehearse, and take leadership roles of the show. This year, they decided to take one of the most famous Disney movies of all time, The Lion King.
The best part is always the kids, just seeing their energy, seeing them starting to come to life, starting to inhabit their characters rather than being kids reading lines, to start to become lions and to start to become hyenas. It's a really exciting process to see that transformation happen.
This will be the 10th annual musical that the school has put on, and just like every other year, the students are the ones who run the show.
We wanted to have the kids have their say in how the sets looked and how the costumes looked and what the lighting does. We've got somebody working on lighting right now.
Unlike most plays, the Lion King musical forces students to work harder due to the fact the characters are animals and are singing in a different language. This tends to be the most technical part of the play.
It's okay for your character to be more expressive, to really sing out, to open up, and often students find their individual voices through the character that they're playing.
While some students have done the musicals in the past, for others it just happens to be their first time.
Well, in the beginning I didn't really want a big role because I had never actually done a play before. And I didn't want a ton of lines because I wasn't entirely sure that I was going to be able to memorize them.
Reporting for the Vermont Center for Community Journalism, I'm Victor Mwangi in Lyndonville. Today's forum was an opportunity for people represented by different ethnic groups to share their stories about living in the Northeast Kingdom. People in the community have their own opinion about how to discuss the issue.
It's just integrating into the community. I think we don't have a lot of people of color on campus. And in the community, there's even fewer. And I think that it's hard for people to realize that if you're a person of color, for many of the students that you're going to run into on campus, it's the first time they've ever interacted with anybody if they're not like they are.
Students of Lyndon State College want community members to understand they are part of the community as well. Some minorities students feel that they get profiled as they commute around the area and doing errands.
So sometimes it kind of like drives me away from the public or in the groups and isolate myself. I don't want to do that because I'm like a hearted person and open and always try to meet people. But the reason I haven't, like I said, I haven't shared anything with anyone is because there's no one always willing to learn about who I am. People are always getting judged by their color.
Some faculty and staff members agree with the experience that the students feel and can't help but relate.
It has been very interesting. It's the first time where I've lived in a state that has had more of one ethnicity over another. And so sometimes in the community, it can be a shock for people to see me. I like to think of it as me being a celebrity, to not have that negative feeling sometimes that I do get. And so it's eye-opening to what is still happening here in America.
The only way for the changes to be made is to continue to have the difficult conversation about racial diversity. To have a better understanding of what someone is going through, the best way is to ask. Reporting for the Vermont Center for Community Journalism, I'm Victor Mwangi in Lyndonville.